Well, Jim, for many who call the streets home or who are street involved, having a sense of identity when they need that sense of identity, when they feel they've been forgotten by society, that can really be a challenge. So a few years ago, when a downtown Toronto drop-in decided to start a drama group, it created an outlet for many to find their voice once again and feel free to express themselves through the arts.
I put on my helmet and mounted my steed and headed for the list field.
It's the last of a two-night run of a unique production by a unique cast. Performed in downtown Toronto at an outreach center called the Santuary, The Nights Around the Campfire, the feature production at the Outreach's biannual Arts Night, is a light story about a couple of knights and a clueless jester. But the amazing thing about this story is the story behind it. Nights Around the Campfire was co-written and directed by one of the Sanctuary's regulars, Richard Bechard.
Hear ye! Hear ye!
It makes me really feel good. Whether I'm going to direct another play or not, I don't know. That's has yet to be seen. But right now I'm having fun with this one.
You see, the Sanctuary is a place where those that are poor, homeless, or street involved in some way can find refuge, safety, a hot meal, and friendship.
Sanctuary is a safe place.
Leif Stolte, the drama director.
It's a home away from home for a lot of people, and it is a home for people who have no homes. It's a place of safety, it's a place of refuge. It's funny, when I first came here, it reminded me very much of way back in the Middle Ages when a thief could run into a church and yell sanctuary, and he was safe. And this feels like that. So that's what Sanctuary is. It's a place for people to be safe.
So a few years ago, Greg Paul, director and pastor of the Sanctuary, decided to start a drama department. Now called the Screaming Monkeys, it's an outlet where those who are or were involved in street life, and even volunteers, could find their voice through the dramatic arts. And while Richard, the director and co-author of their most recent production, doesn't live on the streets, he remembers fondly the day he came across the Sanctuary during a time of need.
4 years ago, last March, I was coming along Charles Street, and I seen that this church was open, and people were saying that there was a free lunch inside, and so they welcomed me with open arms, and I had a good lunch.
Now, were you living on the streets then?
No, I was staying at a Salvation Army, but when I went in, I remember what the meal was. It was those mini pizzas, and I remember I was so hungry I ate 4 of them.
So the Sanctuary, when you found that, what has the Sanctuary been for you?
It's been like a second home for me.
Huh.
Because, like I said, the people were friendly. They treat you with open arms. I'm sorry, but it's more than just meals. It's meeting people. You know, it's just like, you know, you got a whole new family again of brothers and sisters who don't have a fear of saying, you know, hey, I'll shake your hand. I welcome you.
What were the people like there?
Very friendly, very open. The first person that welcomed me, her name was Karen Paul. And she was very outgoing, made me feel at home, and she introduced me to Leif Stolte and the Screaming Monkeys, and I loved getting involved with that. And I had been waiting 21 years to get back into acting, and it paid off for me.
And Shannon Blake, a longtime volunteer, would say having Richard on the team has paid off for the Sanctuary as well. She is just one of the many people that works with the actors and has also written a number of plays for the group in the past. For her, the most amazing thing about the drama department is watching the impact many of the members of the community have had on all those that volunteer.
We create theater casts that are a combination of street-involved and not street-involved people, and that's intentional because both groups learn from each other. There's not a moment when they don't learn from each other, and watching that kind of community form around a task, and watching people caring for one another and the love that's expressed, I think that's a really remarkable example of kind of the community and the life and the love that Jesus is asking us towards.
And for Leaf, that's the goal. While producing plays is their overall aim, he ultimately wants all the actors, especially those who have been street involved, to know they have a voice, and there are people willing to listen.
A lot of people on the street are where they're at is because they haven't been heard, because people have not been willing to listen to them. The only way that they're going to be able to break out of these cycles is if we start to listen. If we start to listen to their story, what makes them tick, who they are, who God made them to be.
And according to Leaf, the arts have proven to reinforce a sense of identity, truly creating a sanctuary on stage for all to express their artistic talents.
Theater is an avenue for people to speak where people are listening, actually listening to them. You know, movies, you can get away with, sometimes it's just entertaining fluff. But in the theater, people sit there and they want to hear someone's voice. That's what I love about it.
Al Mainguy is another one of the drama department's veteran actors. Having been in the theater business for a number of years, one day he found himself in need of help and also found refuge through the Sanctuary.
About 6 years ago, I became homeless. I ended up in a called a men's residence called Marquine House.
Okay.
And I became very good friends with a fellow named Donald Sturrock, who incidentally happened to be the chef in here. So one day I just followed him up there. That was about 6 years ago.
Soon the Sanctuary became part of Al's life. He got baptized, and being a part of the drama department revived his love for acting.
Leaf rekindled the fire.
Yeah.
It had sort of never really extinguished totally, but he rekindled the flame. And I do mostly comedy, and in this day and age, for people to be able to come out and laugh and have fun, when I hear that laughter, it's a tonic. It's a tonic, just to hear people laughing and they forget about all their troubles and they come and have fun.
That's another way.
And for Shannon, that is one thing that amazes her about those who come to the Sanctuary. While they might not have much in material wealth compared to others, and for some the streets, shelters, and rooming houses are a way of life, their resilience, Shannon says, is what shines through.
The things that people live through, the things that people do, the really unusual heroism that sometimes comes from the street, and then I think the tragedy too, and I think we have so much to learn as people who are not street involved or urban people from those stories and from our friends on the street, and I think it's revealing about ourselves as people in a way that I think most people would be surprised at.
What some people might also be surprised at is the support these actors receive from their community. And as the last performance of the Nights Around the Campfire came to an end, the whole team saw the run as another success for their community. They have found their voice and know for sure they have a circle of support around them.
But I always had that feeling of, hey, I've got your back, I'm watching to make sure that you're okay, and that's what family does.
In Toronto, Ontario, Magdalene John, 100.